What if your purpose has been waiting patiently in the last place you thought to look? Hidden not in grand ambitions or distant dreams, but in the simple act of paying attention to what breaks your heart. Can a man who feels invisible and forgotten discover that his greatest contribution to the world was always meant to come from the very experiences that nearly destroyed him? Hello everyone. Welcome to Universal Life Stories. Today's story reveals how purpose often finds us when we stop searching for it in impressive achievements and start noticing the needs right in front of us. You might feel lost and directionless right now, believing your life lacks meaning because you haven't accomplished anything remarkable. This uplifting tale could show you that significance isn't found in spectacular moments, but in consistent small acts of love that ripple outward in ways we never imagine. While listening to this story, we will discover how one man's journey through darkness became the light that guided others home. So stay with us till the end. In a quiet neighborhood where everyone seemed to know exactly where they were going, lived a man named Henry. At 52, he had recently been laid off from his accounting job of 23 years, replaced by software that could do in minutes what took him hours. His wife had passed away from cancer 2 years earlier, and his adult children lived in distant cities, busy with careers and families that left little room for regular visits. Henry spent his days applying for jobs that never responded, watching television shows he didn't really care about, and wondering if his best years were behind him with nothing meaningful ahead. One morning, while walking to the corner store, Henry noticed Mr. Peterson, his elderly neighbor, struggling to carry groceries up the front steps. Without thinking much about it, Henry crossed the street and offered to help. Mr. Peterson, a widower in his 80s who rarely left his house, accepted gratefully and invited Henry inside for coffee. As they sat in Mr. Peterson's cluttered kitchen, the old man shared that he had been avoiding grocery shopping because the walk exhausted him, often going days eating only crackers and canned soup because he couldn't manage the trip. Henry listened with growing concern and made a simple offer: he would pick up groceries for Mr. Peterson once a week. No charge, just neighborly kindness. Mr. Peterson's eyes filled with tears of relief, and Henry felt something he hadn't experienced in months, the sense that his presence in the world actually mattered to someone. The following week, Henry showed up with Mr. Peterson's groceries and noticed the lawn was overgrown and the gutters were clogged with leaves. He spent the afternoon doing yard work, refusing payment despite Mr. Peterson's insistence. As Henry trimmed hedges and raked leaves, he felt a lightness in his chest that had been absent since losing his job and his wife. The work was simple and unglamorous, but it felt right in a way that 23 years of accounting never had. Word spread quietly through the neighborhood. Mrs. Chen, who lived 3 houses down, asked if Henry might help her elderly mother install safety rails in the bathroom. Henry had never done that kind of work before, but he watched instructional videos online, purchased the necessary tools with his dwindling savings, and spent a Saturday ensuring Mrs. Chen's mother could safely use her shower without fear of falling. Within 2 months, Henry had become the unofficial helper for 7 elderly residents in his neighborhood. He drove Mrs. Rodriguez to medical appointments, helped Mr. Williams organize his medications into daily pill boxes, spent afternoons reading newspapers to Miss Thompson, whose eyesight was failing, and taught Mr. Kumar how to video call his grandchildren in India. None of these tasks were impressive or prestigious, but Henry discovered that purpose isn't found in status, it's found in service. The transformation in Henry was remarkable. He woke each morning with a sense of anticipation rather than dread, knowing that several people were depending on him and genuinely valued his presence in their lives. His depression, which had felt like a permanent fog, began lifting as he realized that his life had profound meaning, not despite his setbacks, but because of them. His own experience with loss and loneliness had given him unique empathy for others navigating similar challenges. One evening, Mr. Peterson shared something that would crystallize Henry's understanding of his purpose. He explained that before Henry had started helping, he had been seriously considering moving to a nursing home because daily life had become too difficult to manage alone. But Henry's weekly visits and practical assistance had allowed him to maintain his independence and dignity in the home where he had lived for 40 years and where all his memories of his late wife resided. Henry realized then that purpose isn't always about changing the world in dramatic ways. Sometimes it's about changing one person's world in ways that allow them to remain fully human and connected to what matters most. Each elderly neighbor he helped represented someone's parent or grandparent, someone deeply loved who was able to age with grace and dignity because Henry had chosen to pay attention to needs others overlooked. Henry's story teaches us that purpose often arrives not as a lightning bolt of inspiration, but as a quiet invitation to respond to the needs we're uniquely positioned to meet. His accounting skills hadn't disappeared, they just found new application in helping elderly neighbors organize finances and understand medical bills. His loneliness hadn't been wasted. It had prepared him to recognize and relieve loneliness in others. If this story touched your heart, give it a like and share your thoughts in the comments below. What needs around you might be invitations to discover your purpose? Who in your life needs exactly what you have to offer? Your willingness to pay attention might reveal that your purpose has been waiting for you all along. Subscribe to Universal Life Stories for more uplifting tales that reveal the extraordinary in ordinary acts of love. Until next time, remember that purpose isn't something you find by searching the horizon. It's something you discover by noticing who's standing right in front of you asking for help.